I'm going to send an email. Court is calling 2023 CR 9442, State of Texas versus Isa. Is it pronounced Isa?
Isaiah.
Isa?
Isaiah. Isaiah.
Isaiah. Isaiah Johnson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Johnson.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have that if you entered into a plea bargaining agreement, court doesn't need to follow your plea? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Judge.
Mr. Johnson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. The state is silent on your application. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Counsel, any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Consensus.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
State, you may continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Will we be needing a MIC evaluation?
Judge, I don't believe so.
All right. All right, then your hearing will be set for February 8th. I'm going to schedule PSI and TAP At that time, I will make a decision on your application based upon any evidence that's presented to me. Do you understand? All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Judge, did you say February 8th?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's Johnson? Come down, please. Court is calling 2023 CR 9442, State of Texas versus, is it Isaiah Johnson?
No, ma'am, it's Isaiah.
Isaiah Johnson. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Johnson.
He's just asking for me for further.
Okay. All right, we're here for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest on January 4th. According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a cap of 8 years and the state is silent on your application. Defense and state, have you both had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Any
Yes, Your Honor.
objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Just arguing.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Judge, it appears that looking at the PSI, that Mr. Johnson does have a prior history. He did go to prison, I believe around 2019 in Tennessee, where he served 3 years. His family is currently in Florida. He has 2 sisters down in Florida and also his mom. He's been here approximately a little over a year. He's been in custody, I believe, going on about 7 months, Judge. According to the PSI, he did accept responsibility for what happened that evening with the complaining witness. I don't believe the state has had contact with the complainant in terms of the victim impact, so the complainant is not in favor or against Mr. Johnson receiving probation. I think in looking at his history, Judge, he does have a number of misdemeanors, but he only has that one felony conviction. He came down here to San Antonio so he could work. I think he was involved in construction work when this incident happened. He does have a support system. I have spoken with his sister during the course of representing Isaiah. We're asking the court to consider his application for deferred. I know when we took a plea, Judge, the court did ask for a mental health evaluation. I don't know if that was done. I didn't get a copy of it in the PSI or the TAP evaluation. The TAP evaluation does state that if he did receive probation, he would be a good candidate for outpatient treatment. There is no concern for any drug use. There is no concern of any gang involvement. I believe he's about 30 years old. He has some kids. He's divorced.
All right, so what I'm reading, and I always read the police report just to refresh my memory. It appears from what's in the stipulation, and this is what everybody stipulated to, there was an argument at a bus stop between your client and the complainant. Your client is homeless. He has a backpack. The complainant punches him, takes his backpack, and then your client goes running after him with a knife to get his backpack back. Am I reading that correctly?
That's the way I recall it, Judge.
Okay.
I don't have the police report in front of me, but that's how I recall it back.
And your client stated that he was homeless and everything that he owned was in the backpack.
Correct.
All right, if the court grants this application, where will he be staying?
I've asked Isaiah if he has a place to stay. He says he does. He would also, if the court would consider it, possibly being transferred back to Florida. I think his mom and sisters live in Jacksonville. I told him that there is a process before that case could be transferred, but that's where he has his support system.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Isaiah Johnson.
All right, your counsel has said that it appears your family is in Florida. Have you spoken to your family since you've been at the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they want you living with you?
Yeah.
Living with them?
They have no oppositions about it.
Well, no. Sometimes people have no opposition because sometimes mothers are saying, I got to say I have no opposition because it's my child, but I really don't want them here. Or sometimes the sisters really don't want you here, but you're my relative. So my question is, have you asked them if you can live with them? Yes or no?
Not exactly. No.
So that's a no.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, when's the last time you had employment?
Before I got arrested.
Doing what?
Construction.
Why were you homeless?
I was actually living in a hotel. I wasn't homeless.
All right, and was this a hotel where they do it monthly or weekly?
They do it weekly.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. In Florida, what county is that?
Duval, actually.
I'm sorry, what?
Duval.
How do you spell that?
Duvall.
We'll do a transfer to Duval County in Florida. What city is that?
Jacksonville.
Anger management. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to order intensive outpatient treatment, field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. There's to be regular UAs, 250 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else?
No, that's
And there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We can go off the record from here on out. Everything that you do in your life, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, could this potentially result in me being in prison for 20 years? Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We keep it working like Uchi the boss. We tryna catch out like we hit us a fault. We gotta win, ain't taking no loss.